Walked away from your mafia boyfriend until fate brought him to a hospital bed. Video is made for entertainment purpose only. It has nothing to do with reality. Luxurious penthouse night. A dimly lit room, heavy rain pounds against the large windows. The atmosphere is tense. Van stands near the door, gripping her coat, while Taeyong leans against the bar, a glass of whiskey in hand. Taeyong softly but firm. You're not leaving me, Vayan. Vayan exhales, avoiding his gaze. We talked about this, Taeyong. I can't do this anymore. I can't live every day wondering if I'll get a call that you are. Taeyong cutting in, stepping closer. That I am dead. That's what this is about. Vayan, you know who I was from the beginning. You knew what I do. When eyes swelling up, voice shaking, and I thought I could handle it. I thought love was enough, but every time you walk out of that door, I don't know if it's the last time I'll see you. I can't breathe, Taeyong. I can't live like this. Taeyong voice cracking. So what? You're just going to walk away like I mean nothing to you? Van whispering broken. You mean everything to me, but loving you is killing me. Taeyong gritting his teeth. Then stay. Let me protect you. Let me fix this. Van shaking her head, tears spilling over. You can't fix what you are there, and I won't ask you to. She reaches for the door, but Taeyong slams his hand against it, trapping her. His breath is raged, his emotions barely restrained. Taeyong, hoarse, desperate. If you walk out of that door, Vayan, there is no coming back. Vayan presses her forehead against the door for a long moment, eyes squeezed shut. Then, with a shuddering breath, she turns the handle and steps out into the storm. 1 month later, hospital night. The emergency ward is in chaos. Van is now in her white coat, rushing past the nurses and doctors. A patient has just arrived, critical condition. She barely glances at the clipboard handed to her as she strides into the room. Nurse, doctor, he was brought in an hour ago. Gunshot wound, severe blood loss. His vitals are unstable. Van focused, flipping open the file. What's the patient's name? Nurse hesitant, Kim Taeyong. Van freezes. The clipboard nearly slips from her hands. Her heart pounds in her ears as she lifts her gaze to the bed, her breath catching painfully. There he is, Taeyong, unmoving, pale, a shadow of a man who once stood in front of her, begging her not to leave. Her fingers tremble as she steps closer, her professional demur cracking. Vine whispers, voice breaking. They. She slowly approaches, hands shaking as she reaches out, but stops just before touching him. His lips are cracked, his breathing shallow. She swallows down the lump in her throat. Dr. Kang, he lost too much blood. We stabilized him, but it's bad. If he doesn't wake up soon. Vine clenches her fist, blinking back tears. She dismisses the other doctor with a nod, then carefully sits beside him. Van softly leaning close. I told myself I'll never come back. But look at you. You never listened to me, did you? Her fingers brush his hands, and for the first time in a month, she let herself cry. The strong, untouchable Kim Taeyong now lying helpless before her. The heart monitor beeps steadily, a painful reminder of her time slipping away. Van grips his hand tighter, her voice barely a whisper. Van, please don't leave me like this day. Few hours later, the dimmy glow of medical monitors illuminates the sterile white room. Taeyong lies motionless, an oxygen mask over his face. Machines beep rhythmically. Van stands near the bed, arms crossed, exhaustion evident on her face. Jimin, Taeyong's right-hand man, leans against the wall, watching Van closely. His usual composed demeanor is shattered, his eyes filled with concern. Van, low, if he doesn't wake up in the next 24 hours, his life will be in danger. Van clenches jaw, rubbing his temples. I know. His enemies are waiting for an opportunity. If he doesn't wake up soon, we might not able to protect him. Van turns to him, voice sharp. Then you should have done a better job protecting him before he ended up on this bed, Jimin. Jimin exhales heavily, pinching the bridge of his nose. He is exhausted too, but his gaze softens when he looks at Taeyong. Jimin murmuring, he wasn't himself after you left Ryan. He wasn't focused. It's like you took his soul with you when you walked away. Ryan swallows, turning back towards Taeyong. Her fingers brush lightly over the edge of the blanket. Jimin coughs, shaking his head. You think he just went back to his life like nothing happened? You think he didn't care? He was broken, reckless, picking fights he didn't need to, walking into danger like he had nothing to lose. Van whispers, guilty. Jimin softly. He never wanted to let you go. You leaving destroyed him more than any bullet ever could. Silence lingers between them. Van clenches her fist, trying to suppress the ache in her chest as she watches things still form. Jimin, I never seen him like this before, Ryan. He was always calculated, always in control, but after you, he didn't care about anything anymore. Ryan exhales, gripping the sheets. The guilt gnaws at her, but she doesn't respond. Jimin watches her closely before shaking his head. Jimin, you thought living would make things better. It didn't. It only made him reckless, and now here we are. You were the only thing keeping him grounded. A tense silence falls between them. One blinked back, the sting in her eyes, biting her lower lip. The weight of her choices presses down on her. Jimin, if he wakes up Ryan, what are you going to do? Van softly, voice barely above a whisper. If he wakes up, I won't run again. Jimin studies her for a moment, nods and leans back against the wall. The weight of the moment settles in the room, unspoken but understood. Next morning, sunlight filters through the blinds, casting a soft glow across the sterile white walls. Ryan has dozed off, her head resting on the edge of Thang's bed, still holding his hand. A faint movement, a twitch of fingers, then a hoarse, barely audible whisper. Taeyong, Ryan? Ryan's breath hitches, her eyes snap open, heart pounding, and when she looks up, she sees it. Taeyong's deep, tired gaze, barely open but undeniably alive. For a moment, neither of them speaks. Her vision blurs with unshed tears, and Taeyong gives the faintest ghost of a smirk. Taeyong, you stayed? Van inhales sharply, her grip on his hand tightening as she nods, swallowing the lump in her throat. Van softly, her voice trembling. Of course I did. Taeyong attempts to smirk, but the effort drains him. His eyelid flutter, exhaustion weighs on him. Van notices and immediately reaches for a cup of water, adjusting the straw to his lips. Van gently, drink just a little. Taeyong obeys, his lips barely parting to take a sip. Even this simple act seems like a struggle. Van's heart clenches at the sight of him like this, so vulnerable, so unlike the untouchable man she once knew. Taeyong rasping, you are fuzzing. Van forcing a weak smile, and you are being stubborn. Some things never change. A soft chuckle escapes him, but it quickly turns into a wince. Van immediately places a hand on his chest, studying him. Van firmly concerned, don't push yourself, you just made it through hell, Tae. Taeyong exhales, his eyes flickering over her face, his gaze softer now. The weight of unspoken words linger between them. Taeyong, weak, you shouldn't be here. Van quietly, there is nowhere I'll rather be. Taeyong watches her, something breaking in his gaze. Before he can speak, the door creaks open and Jimin steps inside, his expression a mixture of relief and frustration. Jimin, mocking, arm crossed. Look who's finally decided to stop being dramatic and wake up. Taeyong exhales a soft laugh while Ryan glares at Jimin. Ryan scolding. Jimin. Despite his teasing, there is something raw in Jimin's expression as he steps closer, sitting on the other side of Taeyong's bed. Jimin, you scared the hell out of me, man. I thought we were gonna lose you. Jimin, shrugging, but his voice is thick with emotion. What? I have been sitting here for hours, watching you look like a lovesick idiot. You could have at least opened your eyes sooner. For the first time, Jimin's usual bravado cracks. Taeyong notices his lips part slightly, but no words came out. He looked between Jimin and Ryan, and something in his chest tightens. Taeyong, rasping, sincere, I'm still here. Jimin muttering, barely. A silence lingers. Jimin clenches his jaw before speaking again. Jimin, quite serious. You think I didn't see what you were doing to yourself after she left? You were reckless there. You went into fights you shouldn't have. You picked battles you knew you couldn't win. You stopped caring. Taeyong doesn't respond. Ryan glances at him, her grips on his hand tightening. Jimin scoffs, shaking his head. And for what? Because you didn't want to let her go? Taeyong's jaw tenses. His fingers weakly move to squeeze Ryan's hand, and when he finally speaks, his voice is barely above a whisper. Taeyong, I never did. Ryan exhales shakily, her eyes burning. She looks down, her fingers gently running over his bandaged knuckles. Taeyong watches her, waiting for her to say something, anything. After a pause, Ryan speaks, her voice trembling but honest. Ryan whispers, then don't make me lose you now. Taeyong blinks. Jimin silently watches the two of them. The weight of the moment hangs heavy in the air. Ryan sniffles, voice cracking slightly. You scared me, Tae, more than I ever been in my life. Taeyong weakly lifts his hand, his fingers brushing against her cheek. Ryan instinctively leans into the touch, her eyes shutting for a moment. Saying softly, I'm sorry. Wine shaking her head, blinking away tears. Wine whispering, just get better. That's all I need from you. Taeyong's lip curled into a faint smile, exhaustion already tugging at him again. But before his eyes close, he manages one last hoarse whisper. Taeyong, softly, almost pleading, stay. Wyan, soft but certain, I'm not going anywhere. Jimin watches the exchange, exhaling deeply. He leans back, arms crossed, before smirking lightly. Jimin, muttering to himself, relieved, about damn time. Night. The dim light cast a soft glow in the room. Taeyong, still weak but awake, rests against the pillow. Wyan sits beside him, their hands still intertwined. Jimin leans against the window. Silence lingers, heavy yet comforting. Then Taeyong finally speaks, his voice hoarse but filled with something different, something resolute. Taeyong, I'm done, Wyan. Wyan furrows her brows, tilting her head in confusion. Wyan, what do you mean? Taeyong, the mafia, this life, I'm done with it. Wyan breath catches in her throat, Jimin straightens, eyes narrowing. Wyan whispers, hesitant. Taeyong, I should have done this sooner. I should have chosen you before anything else, but I was fool. I thought I could have both, this life and you, but I almost lost you. And today I saw what it felt like to almost lose myself. Van blinks rapidly, her heart pounding. She searches his face, but all she finds is sincerity. Taeyong, softly squeezing her hand. I don't care about power, about being feared. None of it mattered if I can't have you by my side. Vian's eyes well up with tears. She shakes her head, swallowing hard. Vian whispering, voice breaking. You'll give it up all. For me? Taeyong nods without hesitation. Taeyong softly with a weak smile. For you, for us. A sharp exhale escapes Jimin, and both Vian and Taeyong turns to him. He coughs, running a hand through his hair, then let out a short laugh. Jimin, mocking but fond. Well, damn, I guess I better start looking for a new job too, huh? Taeyong raises a brow at him, amused. Jimin grinning. You're not getting rid of me that easily, boss. If you're starting fresh, so am I. Vine lets out a choked laugh, covering her mouth as the tear finally spilled down her cheeks. Vine sniffing, shaking her head. I can't believe this. Taeyong reaches up, gently wiping her tear with his fingers, his touch feather light. Jimin teasing. I never thought I'll see a day where Kim Taeyong gives up on his empire for love. Taeyong smiling, glancing at Vian. It's not giving up. It's choosing something better. Vian sniffles, shaking her head as she tries to compose herself, but her emotions are overwhelming. Taeyong watches her fondly before suddenly pulling her forward, wrapping his arms around her. Vian freezes for a moment, then melts into the embrace, burying her face into his shoulder. His warmth, his scent, it feels like home. Taeyong softly murmuring against her hair. No more running, no more regrets, just us. Vine tightens her grip around him, nodding against his chest. Vine whispers, smiling through her tears, just us. Jimin clears his throat dramatically, making them pull apart slightly. Jimin mocking, alright lovebirds, let's not forget I'm still here. Taeyong chuckles, shaking his head while Vine wipes her tears, laughing softly. For the first time in a long time, the air feels lighter. The past no longer looms over them. The end.